Hey, I'm Thomas Carroll, and this is Against Spiritual Wickedness, where we expose Satan's lies and reveal the truth of Jesus Christ. For today's video, I'll read an article I wrote about why there was a back and forth changing of pronouns in Deuteronomy. Make sure to visit againstspiritualwickedness.com and get the free training for Christian warriors engaged in spiritual warfare. So let's read the article. Bible problem: why the changing of plural and singular pronouns in the King James Bible's Deuteronomy 9? Problem: in the King James Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 9 begins with, "Hear, O Israel," leading the reader to believe that the address by Moses is plural in nature. However, the passage proceeds with the singular pronouns thou and thyself. Then, in verse 8, the pronoun switches to the plural ye. In the King James Bible, pronouns beginning with t, thou, thee, thy, thyself, are singular, while pronouns beginning with y, ye, you, your, yourselves, are plural. Shouldn't the plural y pronouns be used throughout this passage, since Moses is addressing the nation? Why the switching back and forth between singular and plural pronouns? Solution: the shift between singular and plural pronouns in Deuteronomy 9 is significant and intentional. The King James Bible carefully preserves the distinction between singular and plural pronouns, which is crucial for understanding the intended audience and message. In the King James Version English, thou, thee, thy, thyself are singular, addressing one person or entity directly. Ye, you, your, yourselves are plural, addressing multiple people collectively. Given how Deuteronomy chapter 9 begins, it might seem that the plural forms should be used consistently. However, Hebrew scripture often uses a literary device in which Israel, as a collective whole, the nation, is addressed as if it were a single individual. This reflects unity, corporate responsibility, and shared identity. Deuteronomy 9:1 begins, "Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over Jordan this day." Here the nation of Israel is addressed collectively, but as a single entity, since the use of thou, singular. This singular form continues throughout verses 1 through 7, emphasizing national unity and corporate responsibility, treating Israel as one covenant person standing before God. In verse 8, there's a notable shift. Also, in Horeb, ye provoked the Lord to wrath. Now the pronoun ye, plural, is used, drawing attention to the individuals within Israel, highlighting their personal participation in the rebellion at Horeb, Mount Sinai. This marks a transition from addressing the nation as a unified body to holding its members individually accountable for their collective sin. Singular thou emphasizes Israel's unity and covenant identity before God. Plural ye highlights personal responsibility and the many individuals within the nation. Unlike English, biblical Hebrew doesn't always make clear distinctions between singular and plural pronouns in the same way Elizabethan English does. The KJV translators preserve this distinction by using thou, thee for singular and ye, you for plural. This pattern appears throughout Deuteronomy and other books, where Israel is viewed both as one nation and as a collection of individuals. The distinction is often lost in modern translations, but it's preserved beautifully in the KJV. For example, Exodus 20, the Ten Commandments, also shifts between singular and plural, first addressing Israel corporately as singular, then more personally. Prophetic books often alternate between singular and plural to emphasize both collective judgment or blessing and individual accountability. In short, thou addresses Israel as a covenant person, one entity before God, while ye emphasizes the individuals within the nation, especially when rebuking collective sin. Though the switch in pronouns can seem confusing, it is not a translation error or inconsistency, but rather a purposeful literary device from the Hebrew, carefully preserved in the KJV to communicate profound theological and communal truths about Israel's relationship with God. Think you found a contradiction or mistake in the Bible? Look closer. Details that appear insignificant, even the difference between thou and ye, can reveal something important about the meaning of the text. Before dismissing a difficult passage as an error, study the words, examine the context, and let Scripture speak for itself. If you want to go deeper into Bible problems, difficult passages, spiritual warfare, biblical doctrine, and Christian training, visit againstspiritualwickedness.com.